I was sitting in class at university with my leg wrapped around the leg of my chair, and when I got up for a break, I had a strange sensation in my left calf. In the following days, my calf became swollen and hard, and a vein in my leg was bulging. I foolishly thought it was nothing serious and did not see a doctor. Within the following few days, the swelling seemed to be going down, but I felt short of breath. After attending a Christmas party for my wife's company, my shortness of breath became worse and I began feeling extreme pain in the solar plexus area. I discovered later that it was actually the pulmonary artery. The pain became so severe I went to the emergency ward at Langley Memorial Hospital, and a day later after being sent home, I went back and was admitted. Within a couple of days, my breath became shorter, the pain became more intense, and I had no appetite. I went to the washroom a couple of days after I was admitted, and the next thing I knew I thought I was at home walking up the stairs. I felt water on my face wondering how I got wet, and the next thing I knew I woke up on the floor of the washroom and the wet feeling I had was from my face lying in a pool of blood from a facial cut I sustained from the impact of hitting the floor. A voice in my head said, "If you don't get up and get out of this locked washroom you will die here on the floor." Although I was groggy and disoriented, it was sufficient motivation for me to get up and get out of the washroom. I took 2 steps and dropped again. The next thing I knew I was in a dark void with 3 shrouded figures standing in front of me. They were giants in stature and I could not see their faces. The one in the middle told me that I could ask any questions I wanted and they would answer them. Oddly, I was not afraid at all, but I was quite nervous wondering how I should be reacting and where I was. However, after some deliberation I decided to formulate what I thought would be a question of cosmic importance. I asked what the purpose of human life in the universe was. Unfortunately I cannot remember the answer, but it seemed like an oversimplification, so I asked a follow-up question: if that is all there is to it, why are scientists putting in so much time, effort and money into trying to figure it out? The answer was also simple, which I do remember. He said, "Scientists like to make things complicated." At that point, the being looked to his right and when he turned I could see his profile. He was humanoid, but not human. He had a very large nose and forehead/brow. I could see veins on his forehead and a great tinge to his skin tone. I felt this being was old, very old, not in the human sense of old, but in the universal sense. When he turned to his right, I got the sense that he was communicating to his partner. I somehow sensed that I had been evaluated on the merit of the question I had asked and he was confirming that I was not ready. Ready for what I did not know. I thought I had asked a pertinent, poignant question, but after the reaction/rejection I felt humiliated. The next thing I knew I was on my back on a gurney with doctors and nurses working on me and I heard one of them say, "I have a weak pulse." Apparently, a portion of the blood clot had moved into my heart and lungs and stopped my heart for a few minutes. I was sent to a major hospital, and after days of testing, they gave me an MRI and discovered my problem. I was fortunate to be assigned to the premier hematologist. He determined I was too weak for surgery, and they gave me something they called the clot buster. The surgical team was on standby, but the clot buster worked. The doctor told me it was nothing short of a miracle I survived. He told me that he had only seen one case in all of his years where someone had survived the massive cardiopulmonary embolus I suffered. It was a 52-year-old man. He said he could never understand how he lived. He told me the big guy must have been watching over us. Within a few days, I was released and made it home for Christmas.